What if your dog secretly hates something you do every single day? You'd want to know, right? The problem is, dogs don't complain the way we expect them to. They don't snap, they don't run away, they just quietly tolerate it. They look at you with those soft eyes and put up with things that are slowly draining their trust. And most owners have no idea they're even doing it. Some of what you're about to hear will shock you, because these aren't bad things people do on purpose. They're things that feel loving. They feel completely normal. They're things you'd never even think twice about. Let's start with one almost every owner gets wrong. 1. Hugging them tight. You come home, your dog runs to greet you, and you wrap your arms around them in a big, squeezing hug. It feels like the most natural way to show love, right? Here's the problem. Your dog is not hugging you back. They're freezing. In 2016, Dr. Stanley Coren of the University of British Columbia analyzed 250 photos of people hugging their dogs and found that over 81% of those dogs were showing at least one clear sign of stress: lip licking, half-moon eyes, ears pinned back, head turned away. Only about 7% looked truly comfortable. And it's not just old data. A 2024 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science by Elizabeth Walsh and her team analyzed videos of dogs being hugged and found the same pattern even more clearly. Panting, blinking, nipping, the works. So why does it stress them out so much? Dogs are what scientists call cursorial animals. Their first defense isn't their teeth, it's their ability to run. When you wrap your arms around them, you take that option away. Their brain doesn't read it as love, it reads it as being trapped. And here's what makes this so easy to miss. Your dog doesn't fight back, they go still. Most owners think that stillness means the dog is enjoying it, when really, it's a freeze response. So if you love hugging your dog, here's the move. Replace the squeeze with a slow side scratch behind the ears or under the chin. Watch their tail loosen. Watch their face soften. That's love your dog can actually feel. 2. Patting them on the top of the head. This one is going to surprise a lot of people. When you walk up to a dog and reach down to pat them on the head, what do you think they see? You see a friendly hand. They see a giant looming over them with something coming straight at their face. Think about it from their angle for a second. A hand descending from above is an instinctive threat signal in the animal world. Predators come from above. Even after thousands of years of domestication, that wiring is still there. That's why so many dogs duck, lower their head, or freeze when a hand comes toward their skull. We read that as them being shy. It's actually them flinching. Veterinary behaviorists have been saying this for years. Most dogs tolerate head pats from the people they trust most, but tolerate is the key word. They're not enjoying it. They're putting up with it. Watch closely the next time you pat your dog on the head. You'll start seeing the tiny stress signals you missed before: the lip lick, the slight head turn, the blink. The fix is simple, and your dog will love you for it. Approach from the side, not from above. Aim for the chest, the shoulder, the side of the neck, or under the chin, areas they can see your hand the whole time. It feels less natural to us, but to them, it's the difference between an unwanted pat and an actual moment of connection. 3. Yelling at them when they mess up. Your dog tears up a pillow, has an accident on the rug, or chews the corner of your shoe. What's the first thing most of us do? We raise our voice. Be honest, it feels like the only language that gets through in the moment. But here's what's actually happening inside your dog's brain when you yell. A 2020 study published in PLOS One by Ana Catarina Vieira de Castro and her team at the University of Porto compared dogs trained with reward-based methods to dogs trained with aversive methods, like yelling and leash jerking. The aversive group had significantly higher cortisol levels in their saliva, the hormone the body releases under chronic stress, and they showed far more stress behaviors during training: lip licking, yawning, crouching, the whole package. But here's the part that should stop every dog owner in their tracks. The researchers tested those same dogs a month later in a totally unrelated situation, a simple food bowl task, and the dogs who had been yelled at performed worse. They were slower, more hesitant, more pessimistic. The stress wasn't just in the moment. It was rewiring how they saw the world. Your dog isn't learning, "Don't chew the shoe." They're learning this person becomes scary without warning. And that lesson doesn't stay in the room where you yelled. It follows them everywhere. And this silent damage to your dog's confidence is something we're going to come back to in the last part of this video, because the way dogs internalize stress without showing it is one of the most heartbreaking things about them. So if you catch your dog doing something wrong, redirect. Don't yell. Calmly interrupt. Give them something acceptable to do instead, and reward the right behavior the second they do it. That's what actually changes behavior long term. 4. Filling their world with loud noise. Have you ever sat down on the couch, turned on the TV, and noticed your dog quietly leave the room? Most owners assume the dog just wanted to nap somewhere else. The truth is, your dog might be escaping. Dogs hear in a frequency range up to roughly 65,000 hertz. Humans top out around 20,000. They pick up high-pitched sounds we don't even know are happening. The hum of the fridge, the whine of an old TV, ultrasonic pest deterrents, smoke detector chirps, the spin cycle on a dishwasher. To us, it's silence. To them, it's a constant, high-frequency background. A 2022 paper by Mack and colleagues at Hong Kong Metropolitan University concluded that the safe ambient sound level for dogs should be roughly 20 decibels lower than what we consider safe for humans. That's a massive difference. A vacuum cleaner that registers as 70 decibels for you might as well be a leaf blower for your dog. And it's not just discomfort. A large study of over 13,000 dogs by Tira and Lohi found that noise sensitivity was the single most common anxiety trait in domestic dogs, affecting nearly a third of the population. Most owners never connect the dots. The dog who hides during the dishwasher cycle. The dog who acts weird whenever the smoke alarm chirps once a year. The dog who avoids the kitchen. That's not a quirky personality. That's a nervous system being pushed past its limit by a sound you can barely hear. Give them an escape route, a quiet room, a crate covered with a blanket, a space where they can go when the world gets too loud. And if any of this is making you rethink things you do every day, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps me get this video to more dog owners who need to hear it. 5. Forcing them to be social on demand. Picture this. You're walking your dog, and a stranger speed walks up, reaches out, and goes, "Oh my God, can I pet them?" And before your dog can even react, the stranger is already leaning over them with a hand stretched out toward their head. We've already covered why the head reach is bad, but there's a second problem layered on top of it. The dog had no choice. Dogs, like people, have personalities. Some are social. Some are reserved. Some had bad experiences. Some are just having an off day. But almost every owner treats their dog like they should want to meet everyone all the time and forces interactions even when the dog is clearly trying to back off. The signs are there. The dog leans away from the stranger's hand. The tail goes still. They lick their lips, look up at you, give you that "please get me out of here" glance. And we miss it because we're too busy being polite to the stranger. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior has been clear on this for years. Dogs who are repeatedly forced into interactions they're trying to opt out of are at much higher risk of developing fear-based reactivity over time. Translation: every time you ignore your dog's no, you're slowly teaching them that you won't protect them. And eventually, if their soft signals don't work, they escalate to harder ones. A growl, a snap, a bite. Owners then act shocked, but the dog wasn't being unpredictable. They were being ignored for months. Be the buffer. If your dog is leaning back, looks tense, or is hiding behind your legs, it's okay to say, "No thank you," to the stranger. Your dog is watching how you handle it, and every time you advocate for them, you reinforce the most important message they can possibly receive. I've got you. 6. Leaving them alone for too long. Remember earlier when I said the way dogs internalize stress without showing it is one of the most heartbreaking things about them? This is the moment that idea matters most. There's this huge cultural myth that dogs are fine being alone all day, that they nap, they wait, they just deal with it. And honestly, looking at most dogs, you'd think it's true. They don't bark all day. They don't trash the house. When you walk in the door, they wag and seem totally fine. Here's what the science actually shows. Dogs are one of the most socially bonded animals on the planet. Studies on canine separation-related behaviors estimate that anywhere from 20 to 40% of dogs show clear signs of distress when left alone. But researchers using video monitoring have found that the real number is likely much higher because most owners just never see it. Dogs pace. They whine for hours and stop the second they hear the car. They lie by the door and don't move. They shake, they drool, and the moment they hear your key in the lock, they pull themselves together and greet you like nothing happened, because that's what dogs do. They protect us from how much they're struggling. Long hours alone aren't a logistical problem. They're an emotional one. Chronic isolation in dogs has been linked to higher rates of anxiety, destructive behavior, depression-like symptoms, and even shortened lifespan. And here's where everything we talked about today connects. The hugs they freeze through, the pats they duck away from, the yelling they recover from on the outside but carry on the inside, the strangers they were forced to greet, the hours they spend alone with no one to advocate for them. Every single one of those things has the same thread running through it. Your dog never told you. They just absorbed it. They just kept showing up at the door wagging their tail. So if you take one thing away from this video, take this. Your dog isn't independent. Your dog is loyal. There's a difference, and that loyalty is the most fragile, most precious thing you'll ever be trusted with.